Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Runstone of Scott Selections here for Monday, September 21st. We're getting into today's play of the day. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up having a very nice, profitable day as we ended up sweeping the board. We had an NFL play earlier in the week with a two-pick money line parlay between the 49ers and the Ravens. It ended up paying out at minus 128 on Fox Bet. Easy winner. Both teams ended up winning by double digits. Texans weren't really close for that long for that offense. The 49ers scored on the first play of the game and never trailed. So either or, easy winner there in the NFL. And for the NBA and yesterday's play of the day video, we ended up catching another winner with the Lakers first half -4, which was available on DraftKings at minus 117. Game was very close at the end. Thrilling shot by Anthony Davis, and at the end of the day, the Lakers ended up covering the first half and not covering the full game, but we had the first half, which continues the trend of the Lakers being really good in the first 24 minutes, and the Nuggets struggling for the most part out of the gate in the first half of their last couple of ball games. But either or, really not much going on tomorrow's card. Of course, you have baseball and you have Monday Night Football. No basketball. They're taking a day off from basketball before the Lakers series resumes on Tuesday. You have some Stanley Cup action, but I'm not really going to go into hockey. And for the play of the day, we're going to be looking at the Monday Night Football match between the New Orleans Saints and the Las Vegas Raiders. And for the play of the day, we're going to be looking at a player prop. Now, I know that the first player prop we gave out in week 1 didn't work out. It was on pace to do really well with Marlon Mack rushing yards, and then he ended up getting injured, and he is out for the year. So we got very unlucky there. We're going to be looking for a nice player prop winner here on Monday. And the player that we're going to be looking at is Alvin Kamara, and the play that is going to be on over 37.5 receiving yards for Alvin Kamara, which is available at minus 112 on DraftKings. A couple reasons why I like this prop. First of all, the Saints, everyone knows, Drew Brees, phenomenal quarterback, doesn't really like to throw the ball that much down the field, kind of likes to throw it in the flats and just as a check down guy. And I think that Alvin Kamara, after having 51 receiving yards in game 1, should be able to do wonders against the Raiders defense, which is very underwhelming, as ended up getting torched for 30 points and for 269 passing yards by Teddy Bridgewater. The Raiders just simply cannot match up with Kamara. They can't match up with the Saints' speed, and I think that the Saints will rely on Kamara heavily after he ended up having 2 touchdowns in week 1. Could have been 3, ended up being ruled out at the 1-inch line. But either or, Kamara was great in week 1. And with Michael Thomas out of the lineup, you should see a lot more targets go his way. Thomas, of course, didn't really do much in week 1, but he did set the all-time record for most receptions in a single season. And you know what receptions mean? If you get them in receptions, it means you're getting targeted a lot. And now that he is not in the lineup because he is injured, I do expect that those targets to be spread out amongst a couple of people, including Emmanuel Sanders, etc. But Alvin Kamara is still one of the biggest playmakers on this roster. And after a pretty solid week 1 showing in the receiving game with 51 receiving yards, I simply think that this total is a bit too low with 37.5. Week 1, McCaffrey didn't really do much in the pass game. He had 23 carries and 3 receptions, but his 3 receptions did go for 38 yards. So McCaffrey ended up going over this 37.5 on just 3 receptions. And Kamara had 5 receptions in week 1. His player prop for receptions is 5. So I think there's a couple of ways that Kamara could win this prop. He could either A, catch a couple of dump-off passes, get 5 receptions for about 8 yards per or so, finish with 40, or he could just take a screen pass 40 yards on one play, which Kamara's always a threat to do because of his shiftiness and his speed. And I can see that the Raiders might have a lot of problems catching up with him, especially with the mediocre at best linebacking core. I do know that they ended up getting Corey Littleton from the Rams, a pretty solid coverage guy, but Jared Cook is still a very solid tight end, and I expect the Raiders to have some issues covering Kamara with his speed. So for that reason, I simply think that Kamara's total is too low, and this number should be in the 40s. And I think that with Michael Thomas out, I do expect Kamara to get at least, I'd say, 7 targets, give or take. And with that amount of volume for a running back, I simply think that 37.5 receiving yards is just way too low. So once again, the play of the day here for Monday, September 21st, is going to be on Alvin Kamara receiving yards, which is available at over 37.5, which is available at minus 112 on DraftKings. That's been the installment of Scott Selections. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.